Hi and welcome everyone for this webinar by Afaflex hosted by Parking Network. I want to thank you all for joining this session today. So first of all, thanks so much Ifaflex for organizing this through the parking.net platform. A little backstory about Ifaflex. We've been working together for a long time already. And Ifaflex, they design, manufacture, install and service high-speed doors for industrial and commercial applications, and their parking doors are specifically designed for safety and security for users. And yeah, Afaflex have been doing this since 1974. I'm sure Alexander will tell you a lot more about that. But the most important here is that these solutions are all tailor-made and the best you can find in the market. Correct me if I'm wrong. So today in the room we have Alexander Fuchs, who is Global Business Owner for the parking segment within Afaflex. We have Felix Schneider, he's Managing Director for Ifaflex in Switzerland, and Michael Taylor, who's Business Owner for the parking segment in the UK. So it's a very international presentation today. And yeah, who else can tell you more about these doors than these three gentlemen? That's why I will be handing over to Alexander now. So if you would please briefly introduce yourself and take it away. Have fun.
Thank you very much, Steph, for your introduction. 2 words to myself. I'm Alexander Fuchs. I'm 45 years old and I'm working for Ifaflex now almost 10 years. I'm working at the headquarters and I'm in charge of the global business for parking. I'm also in charge for the region Northern Europe. And I'm also welcoming you to our webinar, the Ifaflex parking doors, digitized fire security and ease of use. I'm really happy that I got support from the UK and from Switzerland because they have a nice project with Michael Taylor, who is, among other tasks, also business owner of parking in the UK. And we have Felix Schneider, Managing Director from Ifaflex Switzerland, with a nice digitalization project from Geneva. Let's have a look at the agenda. First of all, I will start with a short introduction to Ifaflex. After that, Michael Taylor will give us an insight into his project with NCP in the UK. As a third part, Felix Schneider will present security and digitalization of car parks in Geneva. And at the end, as Steph already said, we will have some time for discussion and questions from your side. You are always able to put them into the chat that we can discuss that at the end of the presentation. Ifaflex was established in 1974, almost 50 years back, and we are focusing on the high door market, high performance doors market since that time. And today we are market leader in this industry and employ more than 1,200 people worldwide. Our international sales network covers almost the entire world, and we have subsidiaries in 10 countries. What makes Ifaflex now so special to the high performance doors market? We are the inventor of high-speed spiral doors some decades ago. The spiral concept is of benefit to the clients because of the high speed that they allow, the long service interval of up to 250,000 cycles, and the door blade remains as beautiful as it is on the first day after installation, because in the spiral the door blade is guided and kept on distance when opening and closing. It does not touch, and if it doesn't touch, it cannot get any scratches. It looks like the same as when it is coming from the factory. we have adjusted the spiral concept to the needs of the parking sector. Very often in car parks, the headroom space is very limited, and therefore we have developed a spiral that is needing only 500 millimeter of headroom space. If you don't have 500 millimeters, we have also so-called low header, which is top of the edge with 200 millimeters headroom need only. With Ifaflex doors, this car park security increases. We will see that later also with the NCP car park case study, because it prevents unauthorized access to the car park. That results in less damages and less theft inside the car park, unwanted paintings on the wall because an artist cannot enter into the car park, and of course less cleaning costs because dirt from the McDonald's, the paper or leaves in autumn cannot be blown into the car park during autumn time. And then very important for the car park industry is that our access solutions are fully electronically controlled, and traffic light as well as barrier systems can be integrated. Our doors are running at a speed of up to 4 meters per second, resulting in an optimized traffic flow and reduction of congestion in front of the car park. An overview of all the applications where we already installed doors. Key is of course the public car park in the city center, but we do also many doors at the shopping mall. We do doors at office buildings, at the bank, or in context of automated car parks, at which we always fulfill the special requirement of the clients. So the Ifaflex are always custom made. In almost 100 countries, we work together with well-known companies from the car park sector, like Q Park, Interparking, Upcore Parking, to name some of the car park operators, or when it comes to the barrier system suppliers, billing system suppliers like Skidata, Hub Parking, or the Uber car park systems. And now I'm happy to hand over to my colleague, Michael Taylor in the UK, to showcase his NCP project. Thank you very much for supporting the parking business here, Michael. It's your turn. Please go ahead.
Thanks very much, Alex. Thanks everybody for joining us today, and thanks for Steph at Parking Network for hosting us so we could talk to you today about our parking products. I'm Michael Taylor, Business Development Manager in the UK. I've been working for Afaflex for the last 5 years, and I've been developing the parking sector for Afaflex for that period of time as well. Over the past 5 years, we've seen quite a substantial growth in this sector for Afaflex UK. We really have come on leaps and bounds in that time, just developing with the bigger players in the parking market. We work with some of the big names in the UK now, including NCP, APCOA, Q Park, and there's a long list of providers that we work with. Can I have the next slide, please, Alex? Alex has asked me to speak to you today about a project that we have recently completed with a company called National Car Parks. They're also known as NCP. NCP have got over 150,000 parking spaces in the UK, which is over 500 sites. They're by far the largest parking provider in the country. NCP are owned by a Japanese listed company, Part 24, who have over 1 million spaces globally which is across 19,000 sites. So they're one of the biggest players in parking in the whole world. NCP came to us back in late 2018 with a problem that they were having at their inner city multi-storey car parks. They were having numerous amounts of incidents on site with antisocial behaviour, homelessness, drug taking. The car parks had become not a very safe place to be for the public, not a nice place for where you'd want to park your car. And this was obviously affecting their business. They were getting bad press, and the police and the councils were getting involved with these sites where they were having big problems. Just to give you a bit of an idea, one of the sites that NCP spoke to us about actually had over 370 crimes committed in 1 year, which is more than obviously one per day, which NCP saw as being unacceptable. And I think everyone else thinks that as well for parking the car there. NCP had a plan to lock down these troubled sites in the city centres. The picture that you can see now is 2 sites that we completed in Bolton, which was one of the key places where this project developed in the UK. If you can have the next slide, please, Alex. NCP had a few questions really for us at the start, just to see if this was going to work with their sites. The first big question really was, will the doors fit into these locations? As you can see from the photo that we're showing you at the minute, the low headroom that you've got on site isn't ideal for the product. Very, very small side room. The door, well, the buildings are mainly from the 1950s, 60s, not built for our style doors to be fitted at all, and not originally designed for that either. Looking obviously site by site, this site we managed to utilise the low headroom door, which is a door that opens up and then over the ceiling, more like a sectional door, a traditional sectional door. I think there's a little video of this later on that Felix will show you, just to give you a bit of an idea of how this door works. But you need very little headroom, so around 200 mil above the door, clear opening, which obviously worked in this scenario to meet the minimum head height required. We do offer another couple of solutions that help. A forward-facing motor, which reduces the side clearance needed on the doors, and in some cases we can offer a folding door as well, where head height really is a big problem. Can I have the next slide, please, Alex? As you can see in the photos, the before and after photos above, we can also fit the doors externally of the building. This keeps the spiral, as Alex has described, above the clear opening, fitted to the outside of the building. This gives you the head height you need, and obviously looking at the photos as well, it can actually add to the aesthetics of the building, makes it look nice. Everything that controls the door is actually internal, so there's no security problems with this either. So it's just obviously completely locking the building down, no open exit or entry, and it just gives the building a nice, secure look. The second question NCP had for us as well was, how will the users operate the doors, which we found the best solution was for magnetic floor loops to open the doors on entry. This can only be activated by a vehicle or car, not by pedestrians and not by any unwanted visitors to the car park looking to steal any of the cars or break into any of the cars. And then on exit, we can also connect the door to the parking equipment. So you put your ticket in, open the barrier, and this would activate the door as well. We've got a short video that we can show you of this as well a bit later on, which gives you an idea of the speed of the door and how easy it is to operate. as things have progressed through the project, and there's obviously quite a fast pace with the parking providers and how they change their equipment so often. Now we're looking more at ticketless and barrierless options where it's just purely our door, no ticket barrier, no ticket machine, and it's just reading ANPR, and you either pay on your phone or you can pay it a machine in the car park. It's just obviously keeps it a bit more seamless, and obviously with COVID, I think that's becoming more and more popular with the parking providers as well. It has even progressed to the point where you can activate the door from your mobile phone, and then you can activate the door to leave the car park on your mobile phone, which also ends your parking session and charges you through the app in your phone. So everything's becoming really seamless, and making it easier for the customer using the car parks. Next slide, please, Alex. This is just a short clip of a car exiting one of the car parks in Manchester that we installed the doors at, just to give you a bit of an idea how fast the door is in operation. The person puts the ticket in, the barrier opens, and obviously the door opens pretty much at the same speed as the barrier. So just to give you a bit of an idea how fast that the door is operating. Just to give you also, we've had some great feedback from NCP on the project. Just a bit of a stat that we were given at some of the sites where the doors were installed, they've had a reduction of around 70% of incidents reported. So it's a massive, massive difference locking these sites down, and NCP and the councils and the police are all really happy with the work that's been done. This trend's obviously spread across the country, and we're now working with quite a lot of providers to do the same thing. And that's it really. Thanks everybody for joining us. And if you've got any questions about the project or the products, then please obviously drop a Q&A at the end and we'll be happy to help. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Michael, for that great insight on the NCP projects in the UK. Very interesting. Now we go from the British Island to Switzerland to Felix Schneider giving an introduction to the car parks in Geneva. Please, Felix, have fun.
Yes, thank you, Alex. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Felix Schneider. I'm the Managing Director of Ifaflex Swiss. I'm the former Managing Director of von Balmos, a Swiss-based company in the parking business. So eventually I should know of what I'm talking about. I would like today to come up with a best case example of one of our customers. Foundation, the name is, it's called Foundation of Parking. Fondation des Parkings in French, probably the leading parking operator in Switzerland and one of the state-of-the-art and trend-setting operators. To be politically correct, I would also mention at the same time Parkchest, also a Geneva-based parking operator. Foundation of Parkings cares about 160 parking spots on and off-street parkings and has itself the goal of digitalization of all the processes. One of those, a brand new off-street parking, it's called Plein Palais, has recently equipped its entrance and exit with Ifaflex high-speed doors, all in addition with Aifa Smart Connect. The app I will talk later on. The open public off-street car parking with total 737 spaces is seen as a high-frequency car parking in the center of Geneva. Smart Connect, the monitoring app, allows Fondation de Parking, an extension of its digital strategy also to the entry and exit doors. Not only the APMs and parking management system get monitored, but also the entrance and the exit doors. So far, after 1 year in operation, we did not face any serious problem at Plain Palais, neither with the door or with Smart Connect. With the barrier gate in combination with the high-speed spiral door from Ifaflex, Fondation de Parking closes its last and remaining security gap for security reasons, as Michael already explained as well. Through digitalization, Christian Sommer, the service manager, wants to plan maintenance in advance, reduce downtime, and to respond much faster in a case of breakdown. Aifa Smart Connect is seen as the ideal tool to optimize service performance. Another underestimated feature is to adjust basic parameters without depending on Ifaflex. As you can see here, the functions of Smart Connect, the left-hand 2 columns show proper functions versus malfunctions. See please the yellow spot with the error code. The 3rd column, the maintenance overview. The last function from the left, setting the parameters. This is all about Aifa Smart Connect. Please flip the slide. Data security, of course, a very important topic. Afaflex, we neither depend on the company's owned VLAN or an access point mode. Strategically, we do not include any open cloud. So with Aifa Smart Connect, it's you decide when and what you exactly want to send to Ifaflex. Please flip the slide. So I will show you a short video. What you can see by the video is the off-street parking Plain Palais in the center of Geneva. To close a high frequency off-street parking needs both a reliable door a really high-speed door, and a digital achievement which allows to be always one step ahead a potential breakdown. So as Michael already told, also the next achievement, or in the UK it's already an achievement, the next achievement will probably be to invest once more in a high-speed door and leave away instead the barrier gate. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks so much, Alex, Michael, Felix, for the interesting presentation. So for the audience, I see some more people joined the session during the presentation. If there are any questions at this moment for the three gentlemen, this is your moment. You can use the chat on the right to ask these questions. Of course, you're free to also contact everyone one-to-one. That's no problem at all. In the meantime, Felix, Michael, Alex, I want to keep the discussion going, and I also have some burning questions from Parking Network. So if correct me if I'm wrong, so your high-speed doors, they do integrate also with existing access and exit control systems, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. So I was wondering, can you explain what the advantages are over, for instance, camera secured barriers, and would it be possible to completely replace barriers with high-speed doors?
As we saw in the NCP car park case study, it was that they requested to have the doors instead of one barrier to have that seamless flow. What we experience very often in other countries in the world is when there is no barrier, it cannot be the opening or the entrance for the car park users, and then they turn around looking for the entrance, and finally they think maybe the car park is closed. So very often there's a combination of a barrier system with an Ifaflex door to make it secure.
Okay. Okay, that's clear. So as you already mentioned, Ifaflex is in so many different countries. I was wondering which differences in specific demands do you see geographically? So as we saw at NCP, replacing barriers was one of them. Are there any very particular demands in different countries? Something that you can share, or is it the same everywhere?
It is the same everywhere, I would say. The gap between the poor and the rich is getting bigger and bigger. So there's a part of the population maybe somehow jealous on the richer ones having bigger cars, and the rich fear that the poor people enter the car park and steal some values from the cars. Therefore, Ifaflex doors are very often used. And also not only the security in the sense of robbery, but also in the sense of to feel safe when I'm in the car park itself as a customer, as a visitor. There were some addicted people in a country, I think it was Paderborn in Germany, where addicted were in front of the car park and setting the needle. They went into the car park, and the city decided to close the car park completely, that they cannot go into the car park because they always left the needles. What happened then? The mother with her child came, and the child just took the needle and said, "Hey, mother, look at this." And the mother said, "We're gonna go no more to this car park," and to avoid that, they closed it, and the problem was solved. So actually, it's pretty similar all over the world.
That's indeed something that Michael already mentioned. There's more antisocial behavior everywhere, so there's a better feeling of security. Does that also lead to an increase of number of customers, Alex?
Yeah, of course. It is not only that we use our doors with car park operators for public car parks, but we see that it is also in the residential area, especially in combination with the automated car park suppliers like Klaus Multiparking, which is one of our clients. And there it is more and more often used because you don't have space for the car parks. Huh?
Yeah. I'd also add to that what we found in the UK is no matter how seamless or how good the parking experience is with the barrier or what the car park's like, if the customer doesn't feel safe, then they won't go back to that car park. That seems to be number one on the list for the people parking in the car parks, is the safety thing. And it's obviously locking the car park down gives people that feeling of safety that there's not going to be anybody in the car park that shouldn't be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also,
So
yes, sorry, and also
please
to mention, yes, and also to mention what we see in, especially in the French part of Switzerland. In this case, the Foundation of Parking in Geneva uses the closed parkings also as a positioning. So they just want to offer some high value parkings to their customers, and the closed parkings with high-speed doors is a part of their positioning, of their branding also.
exactly, and that's going to happen more and more, of course. We have a question by Alexander Nikolov in the audience. The question is, can the high-speed doors be controlled by LPR systems without barriers as well?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, sure, because I think NCP already does this together with you, correct?
Yes, yeah. With the NCP system, you can, I think what you're talking about, the number plate recognition, the ANPR camera can be situated outside of the car park. Then this can pick up a whitelisted number plate, and then this can send a signal back to our control box, and then that can activate the door to open. So it can be secure in that way as well, that you don't need a barrier at all. It can just be an ANPR system to activate the door.
Are there any projects at the moment already where you would have the access and entry at car parks? They're using high-speed doors, but is it also used internally in the car park itself, just for customers to just close off a specific part of the parking facility?
Yes, we have done that in some car parks in Munich, where we just separate VIP car parks from the regular parkers, and that can happen, yeah.
Okay, so that means there's a big advantage since the doors are all connected to the system that Felix showed, that you have a complete overview of doors and even access and entry doors in one overview. I was wondering what happens during a power outage. Do the doors have a dedicated UPS, or how does that work?
Yes, we have an uninterrupted power supply available, but in many of the cases, we make use of springs that are in the legs installed, and they support normally in daily operation the drive when opening, because when the door is closed, the springs are tensioned and they relax when the motor or the drive starts. And in case of power failure, we just can release the motor brake, and that relaxes the springs, and then the door opens up to a height that everybody can leave the car park on a safe way.
Fantastic. So let's see if there are any more questions from the audience. This is your moment. Of course, it's also okay to send an email directly to Alex, Felix, or Michael afterwards. But now is the time to get your questions answered live. So anyone? Nothing. Let's wait for a little bit. One last question I had. I saw in the overview that Felix showed that maintenance was scheduled for 2030. So I was wondering, perhaps you can share a little bit on how durable these doors are. Is that correct? That if you would install a door now, you don't have to put in like heavy maintenance for a couple of years?
You want me to answer?
Yes,
Alex?
please.
Yep.
No, not of course. I mean, high-speed door, as I showed you at Plein Palais, with a lot of cycles, it needs 1 to 2 maintenance per year. This is for sure. So just to be on the safe side. but it needs more maintenance than we displayed in this slide. That's true.
All right. And just out of curiosity, since you've been around since 1974, what is the oldest set of doors Afaflex have still in operation?
Yeah, it must be 100,000 doors in total that we have sold to customers globally, and therefore maybe also some share in the car park industry.
Great. Another question from the audience: are there certain LPR systems or manufacturers with which Afaflex works best?
Do you want me to answer? It
Please,
really
Michael.
is. There's no preference really for us. It's a pretty simple input that we put into our control box. So any normal LPR system is fine that we can integrate with the door, and we can work closely with any of those companies. It's fairly easy to control.
Agree, 100%. We don't have any special preferences regarding any suppliers. We make the contact available to our controller, and then the signal opens and closes the door immediately.
Exactly. So you're as flexible as the doors itself. Are there any references in the Middle East and especially in Qatar? Akram wants to know.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Sure. Akram has a question. Do you have any references in the Middle East and specifically in Qatar at the moment?
Specifically in the Qatar, I don't know, but we have some references in the Middle East, and also for car parks, of course, at hotels we have installed several doors. And if you can provide me the contact details, I can look up some projects and send a specific project list.
Absolutely, we will definitely share that with you. So Akram, I hope that answered your question partially, and Alex will be in touch with you with some more examples. So I think Akram has shared his email address with you, so that's going to be fine. Let's see, anything else in the audience that will come in, because I think for me it's really clear what the biggest advantages are doing business with Ifaflex, and that the further we get into the future, the more people will start looking for a safe and secure environment. So if there are no more questions, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Alex, Michael, and Felix very, very much for a very interesting presentation. It's a very niche specific part within the parking industry. Nevertheless, it's been a very interesting one, and I'm sure that there will be more and more success and more companies and operators looking for more security in their operations. So good luck with that, and yeah, hopefully next time we will speak in person during a nice trade show. So again, thanks so much. Also to the audience, thanks so much for being here. Make sure to check parking.net regularly, our webinar section. There will be a new webinar in the beginning of December, and you're more than welcome to join there as well. Again, thanks so much everyone for being here, and hope to see you in person next time.
Thanks, Steph. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Steph.
Right.
Look forward to meet you on the Intertraffic next year in Amsterdam.
Definitely, me too. Thanks so much, Alex, and see you guys soon then. Cheers.
Thanks.
Hey, see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.